I'm Admitted Now What webinar here with UC Merced's Graduate Division. So this webinar is for our newly admitted graduate students. Thank you for joining us today. We have a full team of Graduate Division staff here to tell you a little bit about the next steps now that you've been admitted. And, if you hopefully are going to be joining us in the fall, what you can expect over the coming months. I'll introduce myself really quick before I hand it over to all of my amazing teammates. So my name is Jess Ventura. I'm the Graduate Recruitment Manager here at UC Merced's Graduate Division, and I'm part of the recruitment team. And I will let my colleague Jesse introduce himself next.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jesse Hernandez. I'm the Graduate Recruitment Specialist, and I'm also part of the Graduate Recruitment Team. And I'll go ahead and pass it on to the Grad Admissions Team to introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya. I'm the Admissions and Academic Services Manager for the Graduate Division, and I'll pass it over to Humberto.
Hello, everybody. My name is Humberto Fausto. I'm the Admissions and Academic Service Specialist, and I'll pass it over to our funding team.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chua, and I'm the Student Financial Services Manager in the Graduate Division. And then I will hand it off to Jen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jen Karalte, and I handle the events and community engagement here at UC Merced. And I think last but not least, I'll pass it back over to Paul.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pa Ving. I am the Academic Program Manager, and my role is to create more master's and doctorate programs for UC Merced.
Great. And we actually have, not last but not least,
I noticed that. Sorry, Jesus.
Our fearless leader, one of our fearless leaders, is also on here with us today. So we'll pass it over to Jesus and let him introduce himself.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Jen. I'm Jesus Cisneros. I'm the Assistant Vice Provost for Graduate Education here at UC Merced. Happy to be here with all of you. I'm loving seeing all these different programs and places, and this is awesome. It's great to be here with all of you today.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jesus. So really quickly, like I mentioned before, our goal for today is just to share some information now that you've been admitted. Our SIR deadline for most of you is upcoming very quickly. That's April 15th. And that's going to be the deadline that you have to commit to UC Merced to let us know that you'll be joining us in the fall, and also to secure your funding package. So we have each unit has some slides today to share with you. Of course, as we go along, feel free to drop questions into the chat. We'll try our best to answer questions as you ask them. But as always, we leave plenty of time for Q&A, and we love to actually connect with you. So at the end of our presentation, we're going to welcome you to turn on your camera and turn on your mic, and actually we would love to hear questions from you. So feel free to either drop them in the chat or ask at the end. So again, welcome to UC Merced and congratulations on your admission. We are very excited that we can officially welcome you to our campus and our university, and also welcome you to the broader system as well. So you've been admitted to UC Merced, but you've also been admitted to the University of California. We are really proud here on our campus to be part of the UC system, the most prestigious public university system in the world. We are really excited to be able to share with you all officially that we are a R1 university. So as of about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think we officially were able to share that and kind of claim that R1 status. So you can tell all your friends and family that you are coming to the newest R1 and the university to get R1 status more quickly than any other university has done it. In addition to that, we're also really proud that we are the #1 in the nation for social mobility. So what that means is we take our students here at UC Merced, and we are the best at getting them from where they come to us and moving them into the next socioeconomic bracket, and really setting up our students for success post-graduation. So again, welcome to UC Merced, and we're happy to have you. We wanted to share just kind of some important dates and deadlines. And so we're going to start off talking about GROW, which is our Graduate Student Orientation Week, which begins on August 15th. For that, I'm going to pass it to my colleague Jen. You'll be hearing a lot from Jen and myself over the next couple months about orientation, and Jen is going to be kind of your captain through it all. So Jen, do you want to talk a little bit about GROW?
Yep, sure. Thanks, Jess. So when you all were admitted and you received your offer letter, there was something in there that said that you must attend Graduate Student Orientation Week. So what this is a week that is dedicated to getting you acclimated to campus, giving you the toolkit that you need to really set you up for a successful journey. That means required trainings that your programs may identify as a necessity in order for you to start your graduate education. There are things like sexual harassment prevention training, lots of a variety of different trainings that have to be hit in order for you to, one, meet the requirements of the graduate division in the UC system, but also things that are just really important for you to have. One of them may be a lab safety training because you'll be working in a lab. So GROW will vary from department to department, but what is required is that everyone must be here by August 15th. Now that is a Friday, okay? And the important portion of this, the component that we don't want you to forget, is that you have to be here on that Friday or the Thursday before the 14th. It's non-negotiable in order to complete your new hire paperwork, okay? That is the reason that you have to be here by the 15th, okay? It ensures that you receive your first paycheck on time. Now, it's also important to know that your first paycheck is a half paycheck, okay? So you will get that on September 1. If you do not complete this new hire paperwork by August 15th, that means that you won't receive any paycheck until October 1. And that is a long time to go without having any pay coming in, especially when you have an apartment, you have to pay rent, you have to live, all of those things, okay? Then that following Monday, we begin our orientation, and that includes graduate division, a teaching orientation, because all current graduate students will be required to be a TA at some point. Okay, so we kind of capture everybody as they come in. And then if you're an international student, then we work really closely with Becky, who I know is on here, who is in the Office of International Affairs, and our team to ensure that you all have a training that is kind of hitting all of the requirements for the international population. Okay, and then there's other things throughout the week that will be required from different programs. So different programs have different requirements, but again, it's important because I don't want it to, it's a non-negotiable week is what it is. And it's hard to be a stickler because I know it's really hard coming in and getting all of these things done, but really the week is a week that is dedicated to kind of really setting you up. And so in order to make sure that you have met all the requirements and done everything, you have to be here. In addition to that, there's also it says on here that's a hybrid. So there are some trainings online that you'll have to do. And those are pretty, like self-explanatory through our CAT courses system, which is our teaching and learning system that we have here on campus that you'll become very familiar with. So we'll send you information on that, but that all again won't start until the August 15th date. And if you have questions about GROW, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I know it's a lot of information, but what we tell students is be here on August 15th so you can get paid. That is the number one thing. Get your paperwork done so you can get paid. And then, you'll receive lots of other information. Okay. All right, Jess, unless I missed anything.
I'll quickly touch base on pre-grow webinars. So over the summer, we also have different programming designed to kind of help keep you engaged and keep you in the loop on important things. So starting in probably about like the end of June, we start to do weekly pre-grow webinars on different subjects that we think are important for you to know about before you get to campus. And then in addition to that, you'll also get weekly email campaigns from us. So just know that you'll be getting those. Those go to the email address that you used for your application, and then also your UC Merced email address. So at a certain point, we will switch over all communication to your UC Merced email address. So for some reason you're not getting those, make sure that you get in touch with us, okay? So with that, I think what's next? We have our admissions team who are going to talk about some of the next steps in the admission process. Tanya?
Yeah. Hi, everyone, again, and welcome and congratulations on your acceptance to UC Merced. So the next steps here, as Jess mentioned earlier, is that the statement of intent to register, or the SAR deadline, is on Monday, April 15th at midnight. So please, please, please submit your response by then, so we can kind of confirm your spot here at UC Merced. The link to your where you can SIR or accept your admissions offer is here on the website, but Beto, can you add it to the comment box? So that can be found on your application status page. You all have at least two letters added to your status page, so make sure that you are selecting the admissions offer and accepting your offer through there. Yeah, and again, just make sure that you complete that by the deadline of Monday, April 15th by midnight. And then the next step, which is also, you'll receive that within 24 to 48 hours after you accept your admissions offer. It would be to claim your UCM Net ID or your UC Merced email. So once you get that, you'll receive next steps. You'll set up your two-factor authentication, and then you'll receive access to UC Merced email. If you have any questions on that, we'll also drop our email in the chat. So if you have any issues with your SIRing or with your email, please contact the admissions team. And then I think next slide. And also on your admissions letter, there's a couple more information on there. Most of you guys have provisional requirements added to your admissions offer. That means that we require, probably for all of you, your bachelor's degree. So that was added to your, Jess, are you moving sorry. I think one more. Right there. Okay, thank you. So if, going back to it, provisional requirements, please make sure that you begin sending over your provisional requirements. So that could be your TOEFL, GRE, or your bachelor's degree. It varies between applicant. Make sure that that gets all submitted. You have at least one semester to complete that. If you are international students, I understand that, it's a little difficult or expensive to mail in your official documents. So you guys may drop them off in person once you arrive on campus. If not, you can also email them through a third-party vendor, like what is it, eParchment. You can send them through there. Make sure that they're here by December 19th. We'll start emailing you guys with reminders very soon. If you are a current bachelor's student, please make sure that, or undergraduate student, please make sure that you complete all your grades have been completed, submitted, and your bachelor's degree has been cleared. So don't send any, transcripts now if you have in progress grades. Wait until you have completed your degree fully. And then the next one. And then here's just how to send your transcripts, your TOEFL, GRE, or IELTS. As a reminder, the TOEFL and the IELTS, they expire within 2 years. So please make sure that you get those official test scores to us by before they expire, so we don't have any issues with that. You could either, again, mail the provisional requirements or send them through email, or drop them off in person. And we'll be sending more information to all of you about that. But that has to be completed by the end of this first semester at UC Merced.
Great, thank you, Tanya. And so Chu is going to cover some funding information now.
Hi, thank you, Jess. So I'm gonna go over just some basic information. You will get more information from your program about your appointment and that stuff later on. But different types of funding. There's employment. So employment is your TA or your GSR appointments, and that is paid through UC Path, which means you're on payroll. And then there's fellowships. Fellowships are stipends. Full fellowships they have stipends and tuition and fees with it, and it's paid through the financial aid system, which is separate from payroll. Fellowships include internal and external fellowships, And those are usually processed by grad funding. Basic eligibility to maintain funding, you must be enrolled in 12 units, be in good academic standing, which means completion of 8 units or more of upper division or graduate level coursework, letter grades of B, S, or better, and then no more than 2 incomplete grades. And then, of course, GPA 3.0 or higher. Going to talk a little bit about the cost of attendance. These are this year's number, 2024, 2025. They are subject to change and will most likely increase at a 10% rate. Currently, the resident tuition, so this is a breakdown of the fees. Resident tuition is $6,381 a semester. Student services fee is $627 a semester. And then student health insurance for the fall is $2,026.52. And then in the spring it's a little bit more because it covers you through summer. So for spring it is $2,837.13. And then your campus-based fee, that is $368.50 a semester. All that totals up to the $19,616.65. So that's the breakdown of your fees, how much it costs for fall and spring. With fees also comes NRST. So for students who are considered non-resident for tuition purposes, there is the NRST fee. It's about $15,000 a semester. A year, sorry. And then $7,500 a semester. Students who are master students considered non-residents are responsible to pay their own NRST fees. Domestic California non-resident PhD students, your first year is covered. And then after your first year, you must establish residency in order to avoid the NRST fee. And then for international students who are non-resident, you are covered for 4 semesters with an additional 2, so a total of 6 semesters. And then you would need to advance in order to avoid the NRST fee. So as for employment, if you are on a 25% or higher FTE for TA or GSR appointment, benefit of employment is fee remissions. So you work and then you get your fees paid for. Fee remissions covered all the G-SHIP, the tuition, services, campus base, which is kind of all the fees. And then NRST depending on your status. Again, if you're a master's, that's not covered. You're responsible for paying the NRST fee yourself. If you're a domestic student, non-resident, California non-resident, you get your first year paid for, and then you need to establish residency to avoid the NRST fee. And then again, for international students, 6 semesters are covered, and then you need to advance in order to avoid the NRST fee. And if you're on a TA or GSR, at the end of the year, you'll get a W-2. That will be through our SBS office, Student Business Services office. They'll send you information. I'm sorry, W-2 is going to be through payroll. And that'll be sent to you through UCPath. For fellowships are non-employment based, which means you're not working. You are you get to work on your research, and then you get your monthly stipend. It's not taxed, and it goes through our financial aid system. Usually our full fellowships include tuition and fees offset, which means it covers all your fees. And if you're eligible for NRST, again, that's covered. For if you have summer payments or summer stipends, that is done. That will be issued by June 1st. And then for fellowships, you will get the 1098T, and that is through the SBS office. And they will send you an email with information or instructions on how to retrieve your 1098T. And then you'll need to also set up an EFT for fellowships, and that's separate and different from a direct deposit with payroll and UC Path. Next one. Okay, and then for international students, we have Glacier. It's our tax compliance system for foreign individuals that is used to provide their immigration and tax data. International students need to keep this information up to date. It helps our tax office determine your tax residency, withholding rates, and income tax treaty eligibility. If you have any questions about the Glacier system, documents that you need to fill out, you can email tax@ucmerced.edu.
Great, thank you, Chua. So next, we just have some information for our international students. I do know, Becky, I'm not sure if you're available to hop on and if you would like to introduce yourself, but you're more than welcome to. But for international students, we really can't kind of emphasize how important it is to be sure to start your visa process early and to get in touch with Becky from our OIA office and her team. The sooner that you are able to get in touch and get that process started, it's going to help, expedite that process of getting your visa. I'm not able to see the chat or anything, but Becky, feel free to hop in. But if not, Becky is on the call, and we will be sure to share her information and how you can get in touch. So please don't be shy and get in touch with OIA as soon as possible.
Becky's on, Jess.
Okay, I think Becky might have a meeting in a minute or two. But Becky, if you free up, feel free to jump on in and interrupt us at any time.
I would just like to introduce myself. I see a lot of international students in the participant group there. So hi, my name is Becky Mirza, and I'm here with the Office of International Affairs. Many of you have already seen my name by email, but if you have not, and you're not working with RICO, then please do contact us so we can get you the Form I-20 that you would need to apply for your F visa. We don't know about the consulates and how short-staffed they'll be, and visa appointments can be very scarce right now, especially for certain countries we're learning. So the sooner that you do that, and the sooner that once you get your I-20, that you actually start that visa application and appointment process is really, really important to ensure that you can arrive in August and won't have to request to defer your admission.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Becky. Okay, so next up, I know we shared some next steps in the process, but we also wanted to share a little bit about our graduate resources here at UC Merced. So we know that your success really depends on the types of programming that we do to help support you throughout your journey once you're here on our campus. So for that, I'm going to actually hand it back over to Jen, and Jen's going to tell you a little bit about the resources that our department offers to our graduate students.
Thanks, Jess. So Jess has kind of nailed it, that one of our biggest, one of the biggest things that we take pride in, and the things that we do really well, and the things that we strive for, is to setting you all up for success. So making sure that, one, you have your toolkit to start your graduate education. Two, we're doing everything we can to make your journey through graduate school as easy and seamless as possible. And then three, setting you up for that career when you are ready to start looking and you are done. So a lot of these things that we do are focused on professional development. There are some things that we do, like a National Labs Day, if you're interested in working in a lab and what that looks like. There is a career services day, so a non-academic career route that you're interested in, community college day, which focuses on jobs that are within the community college if you're interested in academia, but not so much in the research component of it. We do a Grad Excel Peer Mentorship Program, which pairs up which pairs up incoming graduate students with second, third, fourth year kind of seasoned graduate students to help you get acclimated to campus and answer some of those questions that you have and help you kind of navigate through your first year. We have all the professional development opportunities and conferences that we talked talked about. We do a weekly digest, which focuses on different opportunities that the campus hosts, as well as graduate division, a dissertation boot camp that is really about a week of sitting down and writing and focusing on your dissertation. And we bring in editors and food so that all you have to worry about for a full week is writing. We have Grad Slam, which some of you may know is a UC-wide, system-wide competition that is essentially 3 minutes for a student to give their talk on what they do, what their research is about, and why it's important. And they have 3 minutes to do so. And then the campus champion wins here on our campus, like $5,000, I believe it is. And then they can go on to compete with the UC wide system and win like another 6. So big prize money. So we do all of these things really well. We have a lot of social activities. And so we really push community engagement and involvement, and I really try to give you all of the resources that you all need to be successful.
Thank you, Jen. Jen's team hosted Grad Student Appreciation Week, I believe this week, and they were out there scooping ice cream. They also do fun things with local restaurants. So just know that Jen and her team are always planning really fun things for you guys. So get excited. So next up, actually, Jen, back to you. She's going to talk a little bit about housing also.
Sure. Yeah. The last thing that we just kind of wanted to talk about was, for me, was housing. I know that this is a big thing, and it should be. This is something that we want you all to start thinking about now and not waiting until the last minute. So there are a couple of different options. You can see here on the screen, Housing and Residential Life is an office that is here in Merced on campus. And this, if you pull this website, you can see that they are dedicated to helping you with resources to find off-campus housing. Okay, and so they will do things. There's also och.ucmerced.edu, which allows people to put in housing that they have available that they're interested in renting to UC Merced students. And so you can connect with students for different off-campus properties. There's also OCH and Housing and Res Life will actually help navigate the process if you're a new renter, if that's something that maybe you've never done before and you've never had to. And so one of the things that they'll do is they'll kind of walk you through the process of if you have to do a credit check, or what a deposit may look like and what the first and the last month may look like. They'll also help you with a walkthrough, even if you're not here. We've had students that were from a different state that couldn't do the walkthrough, and so they've done the walkthrough for you to kind of help ease that process. We also have, suggest using things like Zillow and Craigslist, but we also have a student-run Facebook page for graduate students, and then undergraduates have one. And if you don't mind living with undergraduates, there's kind of a mix of people. You can always find a space off campus, like a room in a house that a lot of people do. And we'll share all of these resources with you very soon. But we want you to really start looking at what housing looks like to you here in Merced, and then like thinking about your budget and all of that kind of stuff. The last thing I'll mention, because I know this is a big thing, is do we have graduate student housing on campus? The answer is yes, with a caveat of, but very few spaces. Okay, so we do have graduate students that do live on campus. We have about 25 spaces. And what we do is we give the priority to our international students, because our international students oftentimes have a little bit more of a difficult time navigating it with like a social security card or renter history and stuff like that, that our domestic students don't necessarily have that difficulty with. And so the priority goes to incoming international students first. And if there's continued spaces, then it'll go to incoming domestic. And then we open it up to graduate students. I will put into the chat what that page looks like. I would suggest that everyone, if you're interested in on-campus housing, put in that application for it, because people continue to find spaces as we kind of move through the next couple of months. And so something may open up. So if you really feels really strongly about wanting to be on campus, then I would say put in your application now, and then you can always, it's not so much an application, but without kind of all of like the background checks and all of that good stuff. But if you want to put your name in, do that process, and then you can always remove it later if it's something that you don't feel like you're going to need or utilize. Okay, and so if you have housing questions, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat as well, or we can talk about it afterwards. But that's kind of what we have. So the best bet is just to kind of go through, utilize the Facebook pages, utilize the on-campus or the off-campus housing site, and then connect with us in the graduate division. We can help you kind of navigate different outlets for finding a space on off-campus. Okay, all right, thanks, Jess.
Okay, so I typed this into the chat, but as soon as we're done, we will drop these slides in, or a link to these slides, and everything is clickable. So we have contact information for like Becky's team, also for your school graduates group coordinators. And I don't think we talked about this already, but the class registration process, so registering for classes, will actually be handled by your graduate groups. And so we'll share these links. So if you have any questions at all about when to register for classes or things like that, we highly encourage you to reach out directly to the people listed on this page. In addition to that, you can always contact us. You can contact my team and Tanya's team at grad@ucmerced.edu. You can contact Chua's team under the grad funding email. Jen is available at grad resources. And then also we are on social. So you can always follow us if you just want to check out what's happening in the graduate division and with our graduate students until you get to campus. So that's really all that we had for you today. We really wanted to just share some general information.